So what is an array? An array is a multidimensional, homogeneous data structure. Homogeneous means that it only has a single data type. So if we're talking about an array, we know there's only a single type of data that's going to be stored in that array. Arrays, because they're multidimensional, can have any number of dimensions. They can have 1 dimension, 2 dimensions, 3 dimensions, etc. Arrays are really a generalization of a matrix, where instead of having 2 dimensions, we can have additional dimensions. Sometimes people think of a vector as a 1-dimensional array, a matrix as a 2-dimensional array, and then anything beyond that is an array is its own thing. In R, a vector and a matrix are not necessarily the same thing as an array, even though they may possess similar qualities and look very similar when we view them in R. We're going to discuss 3-dimensional arrays simply because discussing multidimensional arrays beyond 3 dimensions is very difficult to visualize. And so we stick with 3 because it goes beyond a matrix, but it is easier to understand than other examples that we could consider. So I like to think of a 3-dimensional array sort of like a loaf of bread. So in this loaf of bread, each slice of bread is a 2-dimensional matrix or array. And then in order to get our third dimension, we stack the matrix slices side by side. And there's supposed to be a picture of sliced bread here, but since that's not working, I pulled it up on my GitHub webpage. And so here we have a loaf of sliced bread, or at least part of a loaf of sliced bread. And each one of these slices of bread is a 2-dimensional matrix or array. And so that is only 2 dimensions. But then as soon as we start stacking the slices side by side, we get the third dimension of our array. Technically, arrays can have more than 3 dimensions, but once we go beyond 3 dimensions, it's very difficult to visualize what the array might look like.